Hello, friends. Happy Friday. Hello. It's Vicki here. So happy to see you. I know there's a little delay, so you might not be talking to me right away, but yay. How you guys doing? Check in. Let me know where you're watching from. I'd like to know how your week went. I'm so happy you're here joining me this Friday night, and it's going to be good. I just feel like it's going to be some relaxed crafting time, focusing in on one technique so we're not here for 12 hours. Hello, Veronica. Hi, Julie. Hi, Karen. Ruth, how are you? Hi, Kelly. I haven't seen you for a while. Oh, you're in the passenger seat heading to your parents' house. I love it. Hi, Nat. How are you? Debbie, how are you? Susan, so happy to see you guys here tonight. We'll see how I'm feeling like we're going to get back in the swing of things, right? That hopefully people are kind of finding their groove after getting their kids back to school or getting back to regular work and summer being done. So I'm excited to be here. Hi, Deborah from Tilsonburg. Hi, Crystal. How are you? I love this shirt. I love this shirt. Yeah, I got it in at Bowden, my favorite store. So I put it on tonight. And these earrings, one of you lovelies gave them to me, and I should write a note for myself. But thank you, whoever sent these to me. I absolutely love them. And if you're out there tonight, tell me who you are. I love them. Aren't they fun? They're like little clouds on mirrored backgrounds. So love it, right? I don't go anywhere, so I just get dressed up for Friday Night Live. From the waist up. I have shorts on from the waist down, but I love it. Hello, friends. How'd everybody do this week? I see that Lawrence is saying long week at work. Yeah, it's tough. It was a long week here, but it was over in the blink of an eye. I find that my week has not been my own. Getting Devin settled in her class and driving her back and forth to school, it is a lot of work, right? So I'm glad tonight is for me and I get to hang out with my friends. And hi, Mary McGregor. I see you there, my Scottish friend. How are you? And hi, Yessie. How are you? So very pants optional. No, I have pants on. My pants are on, but I did just get out of the shower, wash my hair, did all of those things. Hello, Valerie. Soon, my friend. I'm hoping you can come see me soon. So any questions or anything you want to talk about before we get started? Tonight is going to be this technique that we did in the past, and I believe this one was done with art crayon. So we're going to try it tonight with Distress ink, and then I want to talk to you guys about what the color palette will be. If we should do an ombre effect, or if I should do just different sections, because I would like ideally to cut this out with my die cut machine for next week and make background out of it. Either fall leaves I could do or something like that. So flowers, something like that, that I will do a cut file for, that I will share with you guys. And then we can take our background and make it something. So even if you don't have a die cutting machine, you can use stamps, you can use punches, something like that. But again, it's that idea of taking mixed media where maybe the background is kind of crazy and busy and awesome, and then making it into like usable smaller pieces that can go on a plain background or a subtle background. So that is my plan for tonight, and with Distress inks. So they're all behind me, and then we can just pick the colors. So if we do fall leaves, I'll do kind of like greens and yellows, orange and red kind of idea. I can totally do that. We'll see what the general consensus is, and that's what I'm going to go with. But I think fall leaves would be fun, and I could sketch some up and make some cut files, or we could use stamps, because I have some great stamps and dies for that too. So that could be fun. Hello, Natalie. How are you? Hello, Dorina. How are you? Every Friday, I feel like it's just gathering with friends. So if you're new here, welcome. I'm glad that you found us. Our little community is growing, but I find now that we aren't, well, some of you are still in lockdown, and some of us are still kind of staying around home, but a lot of people are out there, maybe not crafting as much as they did. So I hope you guys find your way back, or if you're here for the first time, welcome. You are in a really safe, awesome place, and we like to connect. You'll see lots of people chatting. They know each other because we've been doing these Friday Night Lives for a couple of years now. And it's a fun place to be. And we're going to make some art tonight. I like to just give everybody a chance to find us and get themselves sorted and find a beverage. If it's a cup of tea tonight, if it's orange juice because you're in Australia and it's just, I think, mid-morning, whatever you need to do. It works for me. And thank you, Julianne. She said that I'm looking very glam tonight. I love anything embroidered. Like when I go shopping, the thing I put in the search bar is embroidered pom-pom, lace, balloon sleeves. So I just took the tags off this tonight and put it on because I have not been leaving the house. So I'm just happy to throw something on that makes me feel good. So traffic coming from Toronto areas through Bracebridge and all of Muskoka is nuts. I bet because it's going to be a beautiful weekend. So I bet you a lot of people are cottage bound. Not me. We are going to hang out by the pool tomorrow because it's supposed to be very nice. So I put the heater on today so we can get our last pool day. And then we're going to a hockey game, all of us, tomorrow night. So that should be fun. You can make a wreath for sure, Elise. You would have to probably make a couple of these backgrounds, but I am going to be doing a layout and card next week. So our card maker friends will be happy, and then our layout friends will be happy. And you totally could do a whole bunch of these and do a wreath like we did at Christmas. It would be beautiful. Personally, I'm doing summer colors for cute grandkid photos. Do it, Kristen. Whatever you want to do. Like I said, this is a technique that really, once you master it, I would use it all the time, especially when I'm going to cut shapes out, because it really creates an immense amount of depth, and it's a beautiful technique. So the one thing I didn't say is I have a sheet of plastic, because I'll probably start with like our kissing technique and drawing the layers. A heat gun is important tonight because the whole key to creating those really cool drip shapes is drying each layer. Paper towels will come in handy. I'm going to use, I think for the most part, I don't know if I'll use any oxide. I may only use regular distress ink because it's more transparent, right? So I like that I can see the layers through it. If we throw oxide on top, you're not going to be able to see through it. So it just changes the whole dynamic. Do whatever makes you happy. Use what you have. You need a water-soluble ink. If you don't have distress ink, art crayons. Like I said, this background's art crayon. So the one that I shared in the sample photo is all done with art crayons. So you can use watercolor, anything like that. Okay. So hello, friends. Hola from Puerto Rico. I want to come and visit you so bad. That's what my husband and I were saying, that we need to go to Puerto Rico. And if you don't have like fall in Arizona, you could do green leaves, right? You could do red maple leaves. Like it doesn't have to be fall. But I think a lot that are watching might have some fall colors. So help me decide, because I saw fall. If you want me to do ombre, I really have no preference. You know, I just want to do whatever will make you happy. Hello, scrapbooking cards today. Very excited. They're popping on, and the new issue is out, and it's beautiful. Mine just arrived today. I opened it up. It's absolutely gorgeous. Did my FedEx package come with Fernwood? Nope. So no samples for that, and that makes me incredibly sad. But I can tell you this, one exciting, finished my new collection. It was completed yesterday. It is beautiful. I think you guys are going to love that. It will be coming out in spring. So very excited. And then I start something else next week. It's never ending. But the other thing that happened today, which now when I get off this live tonight, I have to figure out, I edited a whole class video in iMovie, and I can't get it to upload anywhere. So isn't that awesome? So it looks like I'm going to have to search for a new movie editing software or app that I can put on my laptop, because I have Apple, that I can edit with. So if anybody's out there who uses Apple and you edit videos and you have a great suggestion for something that is easy, that I can edit a 3-hour video and then transfer it where it needs to be transferred, I'd love that information, because I spent all afternoon editing a video that it's perfect, it looks great, and now I don't know how to get it off of iMovie. It just keeps shutting down on me. So good times, right? Good times. So if one of you out there knows the Final Cut Pro, yes, a lot of people have talked about that. Lauren, is that, do I have to buy that? Because I don't care, I'll buy it. But I know that, I think that's what Kathy Z uses as well. Like, I know a lot of my friends have talked about Final Cut Pro, so I'll have to look that one out. I'll look at all of you. You guys are giving me lots of stuff, but yes, that wasn't fun, right? Because you know, if you follow me, time is always of the essence, because I run the whole show by myself, which I've talked to you guys about. That's going to change, because my goal is by January that I will have someone hired to help me. And then, yeah, so all that time went into that today. It looked so good. The video was perfect, right on time. And then I just went to upload it. It said an hour and a half to save it to my files. And then it started and then just shut off on me. So I'm like, oh, I have to figure that out. So, but yes, Penny, oh, all of the things. I would love, like, somebody who works for Apple or knows Apple. I need a training session, right? Because now I'm like, I don't even know where to go and look for video files to delete them, because I'm thinking, I don't know how much memory is on this laptop. But yeah, figure it out. So that's how my day went. How about you guys? Did you have a good day? It feels good to get crafting again. I cleaned my room. I talked to you guys about that last week. I got some mail out, getting my kids settled, and now I feel like I'm getting in the groove. Been eating healthy this week, going to bed on time, and I feel great. So I hope you guys are all have a little piece of that in your lives as well. And I love that, Penny. We'll talk. You should send me an email at vickybootenkits@gmail.com so I can figure these things out. Because I just would like to, Catherine always tells me that, like, and not in a bad way, that you need to get smarter about these things, in the sense of, like, I think more, the knowledge helps me be more efficient. So that would be a great thing. Yay. So I'm going to flip the camera, because I feel like I've chatted at you for a while. And I know for some of you, this is not your jam, but I think most of you who join me love this. Like, this is the community side of things, right? So I'll look at all your comments, because you're telling me a whole bunch of great information, and I'll look through when I'm done. And we'll see you later, Karen. Thank you for popping in to say hi. I love it. You know that I love when you guys come and talk to me. It's awesome. But I'm going to flip the camera around and we're going to get started. And if you have any questions, just put question. And then hopefully I won't miss it. And don't feel like if you're repeating it, you're going to look like a weirdo. You won't. Because if I don't see it, I can't answer it, right? So yay, let's flip the camera and let's talk about what I have on my desk, what you need to get started. I hope that you'll play along with me. If not, and you're working on something, a layout or cards, or you're cleaning, or you're cooking supper, or whatever you're doing, and you're just here sharing in the company, I love that. But if you are making, let's get busy. Okay, so I'm going to flip the camera. And there's my setup for tonight. Like I said, all of my Distress ink colors are behind me. So I'm going to move that here and move my computer down lower, because I was standing. You're laying in bed watching. I know, Karen, you always have a busy week, and Friday, right? You just hang out, but you are not in any condition to be crafting. So you do what you need to do, right? The earrings were a gift. They were, and I'm terrible. And I want you guys to know, if you ever send me something, know that I love and appreciate it. But I apologize that, I can't wait to get to a day where I can send out thank you notes and do all the proper things that I should be doing when someone takes the time to send me something, or at least send emails that say thank you. But then I have been good, and I kept everything in a bin. And then what ended up happening is I cleaned up, and then I can't remember what went with what. So that's where I'm at. Hello, scrapbook.com. How are you? I love me some scrapbook.com. And if you guys don't listen to their podcast, I think, what was it? Your 100th or something you celebrated? Maybe even more than that. So that's super awesome. Hi, Nicole. How are you, friend? Oh, I love it. All my friends are here. So the base I'm going to be using for tonight is my foundations paper. If you are new, this is a heavyweight white cardstock type art paper that is great for wet mediums. So I'm going to use that tonight. I am going to tape down my craft mat, and I'm going to tape down my paper. Vicki, when will the Fernwood class be up in your shop? I am just finalizing. Yes, great question. It will be a weekend event. I have, like everything, my goodness, with COVID, the delays are just crazy. And running a business, so be kind to stores and everyone that you're talking to that is trying to run a business. Be kind to them. They want to give you the things, because I know just for me, oh my goodness, there are so many things completely out of my control that make everything hard. So yes, he had asked, I have a new collection out, if you're new, called Fernwood, which I absolutely love. I can't show you anything from it other than stamps and stencils because I don't have anything. They had sent me samples that FedEx lost. So they made it to Louisiana or something, and then no movement. So it could still show up. It wouldn't be the first time that's happened. But at this point, I don't have any samples to show you, just the images and such that I shared. And it is going to be a weekend event that we're going to do in the new year. So I think it'll be perfect Christmas present, right? Or holiday gift, so that you can buy the weekend event, which will be everything from the kit except for, I'll share exactly what is not in the kit when I post it. But it will have a whole bunch of awesomeness in there. We'll be doing a weekend event. So my plan is, because I'm trying to not make it too confusing, because Warm Wishes, the Christmas one, hasn't shipped yet. So with that not shipping, it's all sitting right still in my Shopify. So it makes me nervous if I go and put a whole other class kit in there to keep it all straight with being one Vicki. So I have to figure out if I'm going to do it as a pre-order right now or wait. Just know that I ordered lots of kits. It will be there, but I just have to figure that out, right? So yes, it will be a weekend event, just like we do all of the Vicki Boutin events. So if you don't live in the US or Canada and you can't get a class kit, but you are sourcing it on your own, there will be access only for that event, just like there will be for Warm Wishes. So yes, it will be going out. We have a whole bunch of fun stuff, right? Whole bunch of fun stuff will be in that kit, just like in Warm Wishes. I have exclusives that I've added, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So thanks for asking, Yessie. It's coming. It's coming. I've ordered it. But there again, it makes me nervous, right? Because I've ordered it. I just don't know when it's going to arrive. So yes, thank you. And I love your support and asking, Yessie. It will be available. And anybody else who's interested, I just have to figure that out. If I put it up right now as a pre-order, if it will be crazy in my Shopify site. And yes, Vicki, I want to purchase your class, but I also want extras. What do you recommend I purchase now for my local scrapbook stores? A lot of people will buy, see, and here's the other thing. So just a sec, I'm going to flip for 1 second. Okay, friends? So it's not just like nobody talking to you. Hi. So when you're buying any of my collections, there's 24 papers in the collection. Paper Pad only has 12. And sometimes, just to mess you guys up, I will put different papers on some of the background papers, because, like, say for this new collection, I wanted to make sure there was a good mix of the tone-on-tone solids that you guys have come to love in my collections. So if I pick a paper that in the open stock has a navy on the background, and then when I pick the 12 that I want in the double-sided paper pad, if there are like 3 navies, I'll switch out a pink or an orange or a yellow. So I know for some of you that's super frustrating because you're like, I want to buy the paper pad. My store doesn't carry the open stock or whatever you're doing. I mess with you. It's just what there's always, it's for a reason, right? So you have that you can buy the collection, or there's no collection pack. You can buy the paper pad, always extra paper. I would say buy your favorite papers with, like for Fernwood, some papers will be 4 of one, especially if you know I'm going to use them as backgrounds. Like if it looks lined or it looks perfect for a background, I will often put a lot of the heroes. So you might get 3 of one pattern in there. But you know, we will use everything. There's the whole thing. If you love Fernwood and you take my classes, you know I'm going to use everything. So if you still want to kind of design on your own, I say pick your favorite things. Or, you know, those tassels, you want those tassels because those are split. You won't get a full pack of 4. You will get 1 in your kit. So those tassels are actually freaking gorgeous in real life. Like they turned out beautifully. Thickers, like things like ephemera. There will only be the 1 Stampin' Stencil, which I mentioned when I talked about Fernwood, when I released it. I don't remember right now. I wrote it down somewhere, but my memory is really bad. But I just wanted to say that, so I'm looking at you. So yeah, buy the things that you like. Know that you know my kits. Like there's 36 papers in the kit. I don't know if, and I think that it doesn't even include the cardstock. Like I think there's 32, maybe 32 sheets of paper and then the cardstock. Both ephemera packs, all 3 of the thickers, the sticker sheet, but washi tape is never included because it's like $10 for a pack of washi. So that eats up a lot of the kit costs. So things like that. And there's going to be a new watercolor paint set in there as well that we're going to be playing with. So you want to look at all those things. I will have extras if you want to just order from my website. Like when you're ordering your kit and you're like, I just want the card. I just want to get the washi tape. I will have a few extras. So there, I think we're done talking about that, but I think that's good. I think I told you all the info, right? Did I miss any questions? I saw Irene had a question and then I started talking and I didn't. Do you think you will include the vellum in your Fernwood kit? No, because they sold it out. So it is not. It was supposed to be in my kit as a surprise. It was a bonus for everybody. And then they, it didn't make it. I only got like, I think I got 40 sheets of it, but nowhere near enough to put them in the kits. So I have extra vellum that I'll add to the store, but I will not, that for sure. And you will want a couple sheets of it. Did you see it? It's all butterflies and dragonflies. You guys are going to go nut bar over the vellum for that one. So hi, Carrie. How are you? I haven't seen you in so long. I love it. It's a reunion of sorts tonight, isn't it? Hi, Patty. Hi, Janice. Yay. Okay. So can you use ink markers? You sure could, Marcia. If they're water soluble tonight, you sure could. Just water them down a fair amount. They're very pigmented. Okay, so if you're using ink markers to do this background, you could. Question about the prizes of Warm Wishes kits. I posted both of them. I posted both winners on the actual, on the post on YouTube and on the post on Facebook. So I know one of them has reached out to me and I haven't had a chance to return the email. But the question was something about what's going to be in the prize pack. I don't even know. I don't even have everything. So it will just be random. So it's a surprise. Like I know, because some people are like, I want to order things. So if I won the prize pack, can I know what's in it? I don't know until I send it out, which will be after next Thursday when my next shipment comes. So yay, I'll make sure there's some vellum in there. But I think, is that good? Sorry, there's lots of questions. If you guys are like, let's get to work. I'm ready now. I'm ready now. Okay, so what color palette are we deciding to do? You're welcome, Irene. Do you want me to do a ombre, or are we okay if I do a fall themed background that I can cut out of? Because don't forget, you can use any color you want, right? Love Fernwood so much. I can't get the collection in, well, I know that Natalie May is here and they're working on it. I just sent the sample or the list to her and my friend Michelle in New Zealand. I actually sent it to my sales girl and she is trying to get that together. So Natalie May, if you're on here, do you see April Brady? You guys can hook up. Okay, so we're okay. So look at campfire colors, fall, spooky fall. I see a lot of fall, so I'm just going to go with the fall. Okay, so with that being said, guess what? You can do anything you want. But I'm going to do fall, so I will do some yellows. So I'm going to grab a couple different shades of yellow, Distress ink, a couple shades of red, some orange, and some green. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm going to pull my colors out. You're going to see it right now. So I have mustard seed. I might do some dried marigold because I think that's kind of fun. I'm getting up, so the sound might change a little bit. Guess what, Yessie? Guess what just came in the mail? I ordered from Simon Says Stamps, is where I found some of the mica sprays because I couldn't find some of the colors, and they just arrived today. So yes, I will have the full set of mica sprays, and we will definitely do that one Friday night. Okay, so if you guys bought Tim Holt's new mica sprays that are like one and done, when they're gone, they're gone. They are not like a staple mixed media product with him and Ranger. So I have bought them and I will play with those. So yes, I did. Okay, so I've turned around because I'm going to decide on my color palette here. I think Mowed Lawn, right? So we will keep that. Ooh, some carved pumpkin, some crackling campfire, maybe some spice. I think those are going to be my 3 oranges. If I use them all, I might not. Carved pumpkin, spiced marmalade, dried marigold. Because you don't want it to look like color vomit, right? You don't want it to look like color vomit. You really could use one color of yellow, one shade of orange, and one shade of a reddy rust color. But you might, and I might do that. I might not end up using, because it can end up looking like a little bit like speckles of color vomit. I know you might be out there going, Vicki, ew. I know, I'm sure my mother is. If Sheila's out there, she's probably saying, Vicki Lynn, why are you saying color vomit? But it's for real, Mom. It can look like color vomit. Maybe this little rusty hinge. Oh, let me pull one more yellow. One more yellow. Ooh, maybe fossilized amber. Okay, let's just do that. Okay. Question. I miss which stencil is in the pack. I think the flowers. I think the flowers are in, yes, Catherine. And I moved my notepad that had it. Natalie, do you remember? I shared that, right? That I think it's the flower set is in the kit, and I don't remember which stencil set. I don't remember, my friends. And then here's the other thing. So I've been full on in not even looking at Fernwood because I have none of it, so I can't do anything with it yet. And I have been in full on working on my next collection. So I can't, the struggle's real. I can't remember sometimes from 1 minute to the next what goes with what. I cannot remember what goes with what. So yes, the flowers stamps are in the set. And I know Natalie's looking, so she'll tell me what the name is of that stamp set. And then if you can let me know what the stencil set is. Do I have it written near me? Maybe. Let me look. Let me look. No, it isn't. It's in my notebook that has went away since I was down here last. So I am of zero help to you guys, my friends. I'm sorry about that. But Natalie is good. She'll have us. She's got her back. Greenery is in the kit. Is that greenery is the stencil, Natalie? And the flower stamp set, but there's names on them, right? You told us inspiring and greenery. Thank you, Yessie, rock star. So these are the colors that I pulled out. Go with whatever palette you want. All right. It doesn't matter what. You could pick 2 colors and do what we're doing tonight, and it will be beautiful. So just have faith. It will be awesome. So I am going to try to keep like my orange up in this color in this section, and then my yellows near the green, and then the red kind of over here. So I'll be okay with this color palette. If I make a little bit earthier shades, it will be totally fine, right? So let's just do the things, okay? So I'm a lover of Distress ink. So we're using Distress ink because it is water reactive and it wicks and does beautiful things. So you could go here. Everything I'm going to do is a wet technique. I'm going to use ink and water and layer. You need to dry between every layer. That's why you need a heat gun for tonight, or patience. A heat gun or patience. You cannot build and create the patterns we're going to build tonight if you do not dry between layers. So this is the other reason that I stuck down my foundations paper, because I like that I'm going to have a nice clean edge. And then the other reason is that I won't have to worry about it buckling too much, because it is attached to my mat, which I actually also attached to the table. You're hoping the minis will work? They will work. And go and use the Oxide tonight, Nadine, if you want to, because you will see how it will react differently, right? Because it's a combination of pigment and, oh my goodness, I just lost the word. Pigment and dye ink. So it is much more opaque than the regular Distress is, but I kind of want that transparency tonight. So I'm going to do that. You're fine, Joan, because in Vicki fashion, I haven't started anything yet because I was talking to my friends, just like in school, right? Vicki Lynn, turn around. It's time to start. So Vicki Lynn is turning around, and we're going to get down to business now. So I'm going to start with my lightest color. I'm going to start setting up the pattern by doing kissing technique first. So I'm going to lay a little bit of yellow up in this corner, and then I'm going to dry it. I'm going to lay a little bit of orange, dry it, some reddish color, and some green, and dry them. And then you're going to find tonight, this is going to amaze you to see how long something like this takes. That's why I decided I'm only doing the background tonight. And then we will, I will send out a free new cut file, which will be up on vickiboutin.com. I'm going to have it posted for Thursday at the latest, possibly Wednesday. And it will be up there. And then you can, after you have a chance to make your background, you can use the cut file, or you can use whatever you have on hand. Okay. Hello, Dee. How are you? So we're going to start. I have a mister. Did you see my new water container I ordered off of Etsy? I can't tip it because I'll spill it, but it says paint water on it, and then has a spot for my paintbrush. Isn't that fun? I ordered that for myself. So I have that. I have my mister. I have a little sheet of plastic just to get the party started. I'm going to do some kissing, but then I'm going to use this as my delivery system for some of the bigger drops, and then for little splatters, my paintbrush. This is very important. If you're starting tonight and you're doing this for the first time and you're like, I love the idea. Oh, and if you don't want my cut file, Nicole is here. And Nick, that would be awesome if you want to share some links to some pretty fall leaves on your cut file. Just Nick's studio. I'm totally, I love her, and you might find something beautiful there as well if you already have a cricket or a silhouette and you want some cut files, right? So you want to make sure you have a decent round paintbrush. I'm using, do you see that? A number 10 tonight. Or you could use a number 8. That's an 8. It's just slightly smaller. The round brush holds lots of moisture, so that's what makes tapping your pigment on to create the layers. It works the best, okay? The other thing that you want to keep in mind, if I'm going to show you, I'm just going to show you instead of talking about it. So this is a sheet of plastic. You can get it like the backing of a set of stamps. You can use packaging. I like that this one has a little bit of weight to it. So look it's not buckling on me. I can hold this and control it. And it's also thin enough that I can manipulate it. So really when you're going through your garbage, trying to find this magical tool, make sure that you find a sheet of plastic that will work. Will a number 12 work? It sure will, Yessie. It's a little bit bigger, so just be careful how wet it is, and be careful you don't have your favorite top on or your white cat laying beside you, because it'll really spray, okay? So yeah, it'll totally work. All right, so I'm going to go start with mustard seed, and I'm just going to kiss a little bit of that pigment to my sheet of plastic, which you could then take with some water and blend it. Or you could go in and you could mist and blend, whatever you have, okay? You want to make sure that this is moving around. This will be the biggest thing that a lot of people struggle with, is they don't use enough water. And when they go to kiss it, it will just leave a mark. It'll look like a kind of a skid mark. The whole magic with using any kind of watercolor that you want to do this kind of kissing technique, you want to make sure your pigment's going to move around. Okay, so see how I put that down and my pigment moved around? It looks like a pretty watercolor blob on there, right? Is this saved to your Facebook? It will be, Angel. It's live right now, but all of the videos are saved for you to watch whenever you can get to them, or to come back and reference. So my friends, if I didn't dry this and I go now and tap into that wet water, it just will absorb into the pile that's there. You won't have that layered look. So you want to make sure when you're done putting that down that you take it and you dry it. Now you don't want to bake it like a cookie, because you will warp the paper and it's just no fun, no bueno, right? So I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to try to get some of the moisture out, just leaving the pigment behind. But I'm not going to leave it too long. I'll dry it a little bit, and then I'm going to move on to my orange, and then I can come back and revisit the colors after. Hi, Rosalind. How are you? So I want to know, is anybody new here tonight? And if you are, how did you find us? Right? If you're new here, I'm curious how you found us. If it just popped up on your Facebook, or if you saw my post today. And this is for you, Jess. Carved pumpkin. I'm going to go in with some carved pumpkin next. So not a ton of pigment to start, right? And look, you could keep this very bright. Like your fall leaves could be very bright and vibrant. It could be a little earthier by blending some of these colors, and you'll get some browns. So whatever tickles your fancy, right? Hello, I love it. Lots of newbies. Welcome, friends. You will find that if you are a happy crafter and you like community crafting, that we have quite the community here of like-minded crafters. And we meet every Friday to make a mess and have some fun, right? Nick's cut file page is called Just Nick Studios. So share a link there, Nick. Help the ladies out and guys, right? So I'm going to take this now. It's okay if it drips on here, and I'm going to kiss it lightly and just kind of move it around. It's okay if my orange kind of blends into my yellow. All right. And then sometimes if you have like lines in there that you're not loving, just tap some water into it. And that will break up some of the lines that you're getting. But the whole thing tonight is going to be layers and layers and layers. Yes, Nick has amazing cut files. Her cut file vibe is definitely my kind of vibe. I love that Nick does a lot of cut files that work beautifully with mixed media, right? Because they're a little bit more solid. They're not super, well, she has all kinds, but for Vicki, the ones I love that aren't too detailed cuts, so that I can cut them out of my mixed media. I love it, right? So the first color was mustard seed, right, that we used. Just a sec, I'll put it out so you can see. Mustard seed, one of my favorite yellows. And for Jess Forrester, some carved pumpkin. So Nicole is making Christmas cut files now. I love it, Nick. So I'm just kissing some color on here to lay a little bit of a base, right? Lay a little bit of a base. And I'm not baking it like a cookie, meaning I'm not leaving the heat on here forever. I'm just trying to take some of that moisture out, just leaving pigment behind, okay? Hi, Nancy. How are you? Good evening. So I want to go in now. What reds did I get? Not much. Not much. You know what? I'm going to start with dried marigold down here as my base color. And then I'll go in with crackling campfire. But I'm going to kiss some of the dried marigold Distress ink in that bottom corner. I hope some of you are playing along. I would love that. We'll see though. I might not go right into the corner. I might layer it right here because that's a little oranger than I was anticipating. Okay. So put enough water on so that it will move around when you kiss it to your page. And then I'm just going to kiss a little bit of that in there. So there is definitely a little bit more oomph to that, but it is not. I thought it was going to be a little on the rosier side. So I'm not going to put it right into where the red would go, but I'm not going to clean it off. So when I go to put my crackling campfire on here, I'm going to mix it right in with my dried marigold. Actually, and I'm not going to dry this. I'm going to put my crackling campfire down first. Hi, Joanne. First time with Distress Inks. Do you have any, Joanne? Are you a collector and you bought them but you've never used them? I would love to know because they've been around for a long time. I have been teaching Distress Ink classes and been a lover of Mr. Holtz forever and ever, right? But I have used Distress Inks and taught them in classes for years and years and years. So I know a lot of people have purchased and collected them, but maybe haven't really used them. Or maybe you're using them just for stamping and you haven't really used them for techniques, which is kind of magical. They do some magical things, right? So I'm loving that crackling campfire. I'm going to get a red to introduce on here too. You have a lot of them. Me too. I have all of them. I have like 4 of some of them. So I know when I do my mixed, I was talking about it that I'm going to, once I get some of this class stuff done that I have to do, I'm going to do some grab boxes, and I'm going to do one that is, or a couple that are very distress themed, because I have a lot of extra ink pads. Some are used class sets, some are brand new, and I'm going to be putting those up for sale as grab boxes soon in my on VickiBooten.com, because I figure for some of you guys that are new to all of this, it's a great place to kind of start. So I'm going to do that. So you see, I have my paper towel. I'm picking up a little bit of that extra pigment. And I'm going to grab a red. Distress inks are my downfall. So versatile, with different techniques. Had to buy any. Yes, I love them. I love Distress ink. Hi, Poppy. How are you? Yes, there will be grab boxes. So, but like I said, when those grab boxes come, just be prepared. It will just kind of give you what the theme is I will not have time to go through and outline exactly what's in them, but they're going to be dirt cheap and full of stuff. I have partially used or completed kits that I've used in classes. I'm going to be putting up there. So I'm going in here with some barn door. I think barn door will be the perfect red to use with the crackling campfire. So barn door is next. Okay. Hi, Brenda. What is your question? Do you remember offhand where you got your paintbrush water cup? Just go on Etsy and search paint paint water cup. It is from the US somewhere, right? But it's some kind of pottery artist. I would have to look. I don't remember what it was. I've had it in my cart for a very long time, and then I just decided to order it. You can get, there's some like really awesome ones on Etsy. So, oh, I'm loving that on there. Barn door is beautiful. On here, I don't want, put that in there. Very pretty. So yes, so for those boxes is because I'm cleaning out, I clean my room. I have partial kits, old collections, like just in, it will be where they're grab boxes that I will put a nominal fee just because I'm gonna have to pay somebody to kit them up for me, and then you would pay the shipping. So I have not listed them. I don't know when that's gonna happen. As soon as I can get them up, it will. So just make sure you're signed up for my newsletter on vickibooten.com. And when they go up for sale, I'll send a newsletter out saying, hey, the grab boxes will be listed and first come, first serve. And just know, don't email me and ask me what's going to be in them, because I will either say mixed media box, Distress Ink themed box with mixed media, scrapbooking, card making, stamping, tools. So that'll be kind of what the gist of it will be, okay? I'd love to know what holder you use. I'm in the middle of setting up a distress pad storage. Suzanne, I love, I forget, it is from IKEA, the one I use, which is actually, it is storage for, you're here. Are you still here, Janice? Because it was Janice who told me about it. What is the storage unit we use from IKEA for our distress ink? Because I can fit all of them on there. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. So I'm going in with, I want to layer one more barn door on here. So yes, it's a paper holder from IKEA. And it is perfect for distress ink. So Janice is still here. Do you remember what it's called? I have it written down somewhere, but I don't offhand remember what it's called. So I'm just layering a little bit more of that barn door. I know I'm going to end up picking another red as well. So do you see, can you see the layers are already starting to pop through? Every time I put some more pigment down and dry the layer, it creates depth, tons and tons of depth. I love it. Hi, Carissa, how are you? So what's that, Denise? It's not available to ship everywhere. I've been watching. Yes, thank you, Denise. Kate, I don't know if you pronounce the K. I don't know how to pronounce that Swedish word, but kavissel, or I don't know. And I picked it up in the store. Like, I didn't order it online. I went into our IKEA and picked it up. And it is like perfection, right? How do you get the shading to how do you get the shading to not look made? Help me with that question, Nadine, and I will happily help you. You didn't ask that correctly. It's okay. I'm here. Ask away. Just word it so that I can help you with that. So see those little dots that were left on there? I'm for sure going to layer those on here. So remember I told you guys that this one, when I did it, is with art crayon. So it's going to react completely differently than the Distress ink will, because it will react with water, but it's not reactive like Distress ink is. So this one is going to be full on, like full on. That one is this one is a little bit tamer and more controlled. With this one, you watch, it's going to be depth and craziness and lots of layers. Mine is smaller speckled instead of thicker flow, more water. My husband just walked over here with his hockey gloves on because it's that time of year around here. So that's what I would say, Nadine, is more water. Hi, Sherry Jackson. How are you? Get down a little bit more of a solid layer before we start. See, I'm cheating and I'm showing you where we're going to go with this, but let's keep building what we're building. I don't want to cheat too much because this will throw you for a loop, right? So let's keep building our base. I'm going to put some green over here, but you know, when green and red mix together, because anytime the colors that you're using have all three of the primary colors, and you'll start to make brown. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. So green has blue and yellow, and red is the third primary. So when they touch, we're going to get brown. And I'm okay with to have a little bit of earthiness down here, but I'm going to come up in here and make some green. Hi, Tracy. This is Tracy, who's been my friend for a very long time. Did you join Gina Livy with me too, Tracy? I don't know if you did or didn't. I have never thought to use the Distress inks this way. Yes, for your canvases, you could do, she makes beautiful handmade flowers. So yes, it's beautiful. So I know a lot of my friends out there have joined Gina Livy with me, which is this weight loss finally and forever program that we're doing. And I know a lot of you guys, I've seen you on there. So if you have, how's it going for you? If you joined, how's it going for you? Yes, this is your first time joining live. I love it, Amanda. So see this color that I just went in with, which I'm loving, but it's a little earthier, is this green is called Crushed Olive. But I'm kind of digging where it will mix in with the yellow. You, Elise, did you join? Have you started yet, or are you waiting till next week? Are you just kind of taking all the info in right now, or have you actually started? Curious. So I'm going to pull some of that in there. So do you see now, I forget who asked the question of why yours looks more polka dotty? More water, right? More water. You are doing it, Tracy. And I know Patty is, because Patty did the spring one with me. We were tag teaming it then. I am very proud of myself. I only had a little bit of craziness. Your first time with you, you lost this week. Valerie, are you doing it? The Gina Livy? You haven't joined the lives yet. Yeah, I love them just, and like Patty, I'm sure will agree. I like the live part of that just because it's a motivator for me. It's a motivator for me, right? Thanks so much. Yes, the Cavissel letter tray, Suzanne, it is perfection. So I will share a picture in the Vicki Booten Creative Community group page. I'll share a picture of mine so that you can see, like, look at that funky crushed olive. I'm kind of really digging the earthiness of that. You will see that I have 2 trays each, 2 for Oxide, 2 for regular Distress. And then in my bottom, the bottom of the tray, I bought at the dollar store long, narrow plastic holders. And that's where I hold my ink blending tools and my extra foam. And it is perfection. It is not super sturdy, so just be careful when you're pulling the trays in and out because it's a lot of weight. But I love it. I use it. I won't, that is my favorite system because I can jam a ton in that little box, that little Cavissel box. So I love it. So what did I miss? What did Catherine Vickers Johnson? What's awesome? What happened? What's Octavio? I don't know what that is, Kimberly. So I'm going to go in now with my mowed lawn, which is a beautiful bright green, right? Yes, and I shared that Cavissel for a long time. So I know a lot of you, if you've been following me for a while, a lot of you might already share or might already, just a second, what was I trying to say? Might already use that as your storage system for your distress. I love it. I think it works great, and it sits right on my counter behind me, and doesn't take up too much space. You're loving this so far. Thank you, Nicole. This is something, Nick, I feel like you should be doing with me, because think of with all your cut files, you could do this just in shades of pink and cut flowers out of it, and a little bit of yellow maybe. Look at you I'm sure have beautiful cut files of leaves. How awesome would this be, right? And good for you, Catherine, that you lost 4 pounds already. I'm very proud of you. I have definitely lost this week as well. I am really hoping when I get on the scale tomorrow that I am down lower than I was when I did the spring group, because I got on board. I started on Sunday before we even started this session. And I have to say that when I got on the scale this morning, that since I started, that I am down 7 pounds. So I'm very excited for it. How many pads fit on each shelf? So Carrie, here, look it. I have one out. I'm going to just try not to drop all my freaking Distress ink on the floor. So let me show you. Just a second. So look it. I can go 4 high. So look at how many that is. They fit perfectly. I'm telling you, this thing, it's like it was made for it, right? Isn't that awesome? So yep, lots fit on here. Great. So the program that we're talking about, her name is Gina Livy. Look her up, Gina Livy weight loss. You can't get into this program, the fall program. It's closed, but in October, access to the program that'll start in January will open. And I'm just telling you, if you're looking for something that is a healthy option that just will change your mind, it's definitely worth looking at. And I talked about it before, and a lot of the ladies who follow joined. And I don't know, you tell them, guys that have joined and have kind of been watching and paying attention. I think it's an excellent program. I love her enthusiasm. And I just, like I said, I turned 50 this year, and I've got to get my act together, right? Hi, Jill. What kind of distress folder, please? The IKEA Cavissel, Kvissle letter holder. It is the Cavissel letter holder. Okay. Is the front and back of the foundations paper the same, Stacy? That's a great question. All paper has like a sizing on it. I don't know what the process when it's made, but the foundations paper, the front side has a little bit of a sealant on it. So the mediums kind of don't wick out as quickly. The back side is a little bit more porous, but it's very minimal. Like I can tell, like sometimes if I was doing this technique and I was using the back side, I wouldn't have maybe the crispness of my drips. Does that make sense? It will wick into the paper a little bit more. So, yeah, that's what I notice. And you'll have to let me know if you notice that as well. You're doing the Epic Challenge by Epicure. Good for you. Awesome. I just find I did keto for years. I still am a low carb girl and really watch my sugars because I just don't think that stuff is good for you. But I have to say that I'm very happy that I can eat fruit again, right? I'm so happy I can eat fruit again. Yes, she is. I feel like Gina and I, if we met, we would be friends because I think her personality is a lot similar to mine. So she does. She talks a lot. I saw you on there, Poppy. I saw you one day on there. So I'm going to go in with 2 colors now. I want to build a little bit more of this green. So I'm going to put mowed lawn and I'm going to put crushed olive on the same sheet of plastic. Okay. So 1 kiss of mowed lawn, 1 kiss of crushed olive. Let's see what pretty new color we're going to make. Hi, Don. How are you? Raise his hand. Sizing is added externally, internally, or both. I feel like mine is external. Don, I feel like my sizing is just like me and it's external, and it makes the mediums work differently. I love when we have people who are industry, brilliant industry people like my friend Dawn, who was just quietly hanging out there, not even letting me know she was here tonight. Rude. Just teasing. That I love that, right? We're already friends. I love it. But yes, hi Gina. I'm glad we're friends. But yes. But I meant Gina Livy, but Gina, you and I can be friends too. So I mix those 2 colors together and now I'm going to kiss it on here and you're going to see we're going to start loading and loading and loading. I'm working and listening. Sales and US taxes. Blech. I agree with you. I went to visit my sister-in-law who is my accountant. And we were talking about stuff that I need to do because I've changed some stuff. And she laughed at me because my eyes literally glaze over. My eyes, I'm looking at her and going, oh, Kim, just tell me what I need to do. Don't even explain it because I can't even, right? You're a CPA, so you know what I'm talking about, right? Wednesday was the last deadline for business to file their taxes. You hang in there this weekend. Well, I'm probably late because I just registered or did whatever, Cassie. Whatever you're supposed to do, registered. And I don't know, are you in the US or Canada? I don't know if I missed the whatever. I'll pay whatever penalty I have to. But I'm new. I just set it up, the business, that side of it, in August. So now I have to get to the bank and set up my bank account and stuff. So yes, that was crushed olive and mowed lawn. So see what's going on there? Just building. This crushed olive, I'm not going to use much more. It's very yellow. And I feel like I might pull 1 more shade of green in here. You and numbers are like oil and water. Yes, I know. It hurts my head. It hurts my head. Hello, Linda. How are you? How's everybody doing? Is anybody playing along with me tonight? I want to know what colors are you using and what results are you getting? And do you have any questions? Right? Do you have any questions? Do you store your distress inks with the label side up or down? Doesn't matter with distress. Tracy, you don't have to, you can store them sideways and it won't matter. The ink is all suspended in the pad, so you do not have to worry about that. Okay, did I miss any questions? Well, you know, when keto works, keto, like you won't hear me diss keto because it works. It's just, it's not super sustainable if you aren't going to completely follow keto your whole life. And I don't go crazy. Like I rarely eat a banana because they're just too sweet. I just have a hard time. But for me, I wanted to eat a peach and I wanted to enjoy some of those things that I hadn't for a long time. Let's go in with some, what do you think? Rustic Wilderness? Do you want me to use that? Or I don't want Forest Moss because I think it's too dirty. If I'm going to use a little bit more green, I'm going to use Rustic Wilderness. And I'm going to start building my yellow again. And I'm standing up now. I feel like I need to get into this. So I'm going to stand up while I'm working now. I'm going to stand up. Question. I saw a question. What do we do if we want some browns? Use walnut stain? You could, but that's pretty dark, Marcia. Okay, that's pretty dark. You can see that I'm already making browns just with my red and green. But if I was going to go in with a brown, frayed burlap, I would be comfortable with. If you have it, I would do frayed burlap or gathered twigs. because I think if you go in, that's the one I just ordered. I don't actually, I lost my walnut stain. I just ordered it. But don't you agree? Like for me, if I was going to use a brown, I'd be using gathered twigs and very little of it. And then I'd probably layer other colors on top so it doesn't pop out too much. Here's another awesome option, Marcia. You could stamp in gathered twigs with a leaf pattern, right? You could stamp in this. So kind of consider that maybe. Like think instead of using a black, if you stamped your leaves on here, go for it. I think that would be great too. Some seedless preserves if you wanted a little purple in there. I will use purple when I do my layout, but that might be my background. And then these could all pop on here, right? Question, Stacy. I was late. Why are you using ink instead of oxide? I said in my thing that I was going to use oxides, but I decided to go just with ink. And Stacy, the reason is these are transparent, meaning I can see the layers underneath them. If I went in an oxide, it's not transparent. So if we have time tonight, I might do a smaller canvas and just use oxide so you can see the difference. Because if you're like me, if I can visually see what Vicki's talking about, it might be a little easier. So just remind me and I'll pull out some oxides. And then to make Jess Forrester happy, I will do that background in ombre with oxides, okay? Because then I think everybody will be able to see it. Gina, if you wanted to learn more about colors, the color wheel, do you recommend any specific courses or resources? A color wheel. But here is the golden nugget for you. Are you ready? If you don't want to make brown, make sure that all three primaries are not in your blend. That to me was like when I learned color theory, I think is the easiest way to know when you're blending. And if you look at yellow and orange, my red, where these kiss, I'm getting a little bit of dirtier business going on in here. I will as we start to drip, because we haven't even started doing drips yet. I'm going to start building it in there. Okay. Yay. What's Me Too, Karen? I want to know what Me Too is. You prefer the inks. I love the inks for this kind of thing. I like oxides too, but it's a whole different thing. So I'm going to show you when we use oxides, don't forget when we add the water that they do some funky things where the colors kind of separate. I find this stays cleaner, brighter, and you get all these beautiful detailed lines on it. So I just think they're truer colors because it's a different type of ink. Hi, Angie. So I'm new and don't yet have this paper. Could I try this watercolor paper until I can purchase some foundations paper? You can, Angie, but you're going to find that you might not get the sharp, crisp lines on watercolor because the paper is more porous. Okay, remember when my lovely friend Dawn was saying about sizing and that when you put it in here, or it's in some papers, it really will resist the wicking, where watercolor paper might not as much. So I say yes, 100% go for it, try it, but just know that your results will be different than mine. It doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It's the type of materials you're using. Does that make sense? Sue's saying, I never use oxides, but I'm newer to this. Only been playing with this for a year or so. And you know what, Sue, I've been playing with this forever and I learn something new all the time. So just know that, just play with it. And every time you do stuff, you're going to get different results. Susan said, OMG, what a great piece of advice to not get brown color. Well, if you guys, because I'm going to just tell you something. If you didn't sign up for my gel plate class, because you're like, gel plate, what do I need that for? I'm just telling you, it is a game changer. And we did a whole section in that course on color theory. So, because we did a lot of mixing wet paints. And I told you guys, like, you need to take it before you can take the one I'm going to do in the new year. So we talked about classes that are going to come up. So for sure, I'm going to be putting Fernwood up. And that course is that class, the Lollapalooza party weekend with my new collection is going to take place in probably January or early February. And then for early, like February, March is going to be part deux of gel plate. So just kind of keep that in mind. Part deux is coming, and it is going to be so much fun. And there's so much you can learn that will work in any of your mixed media with the gel plate, right? So look at, I'm using mustard seed and I'm going to layer. We're almost ready to drip, but you see, I went in here with a lot of pigment, and now you're going to see I'm going to go lighter. I'm going to try to make some dots and layers, but you will see this looks very light and soft in the yellow, but now I'm layering the same pigment on top, but I can start building depth because, and I'm going to carry it into my other colors as well. I can start creating depth because I'm drying between the layers. I love the gel plate so much. I can't wait for part deux as well, Karen. And the class is still available. You just don't get me live, but all the video content is still in the Facebook group. But it's going to be fun. Nadine, I tried gel plate YouTube videos and would prefer some Vicki. I think with, and anybody out there who took the gel plate, what I did is try to just really build on the basics. So you're learning right from the ground up, right? Jill, question. Distress inks are not carried in Baton Rouge at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. Have to order online, only carry oxides. Probably because the distress ink has been around a lot longer, and because the oxides are kind of like magic ink. Like they do some really wild wicking things. Probably people who are newer to distress, those would be the like kind of, I don't know, the firecracker, I need to have it, the kind of super awesome inks, but they don't realize that the workhorses, workhorse ink is still just the regular distress. You need them both. And I always say that, like, definitely don't want you to have to spend all your money. I just give you suggestions, and then I really want you to do whatever you want. I get nothing from this, right? I just tell you, like, I just love it. I don't work for Ranger, but I love these inks. But you will see the depth that's starting to happen. So let's go in and just keep doing it. I love my distress ink. Love it. I'm missing stuff. Sorry, trying to work, and I don't want to miss where you feel like I'm ignoring you. Miriam ordered the 12 by 12 plate. Can't wait to play with it. And Miriam, remember I ordered all those 12 by 12 stencils. I'm going to try really hard to stock my store next week. I have a whole bunch of stuff that has not got put on vickiboutin.com, and I ordered all those awesome 12 by 12 stencils. Like, I mean, I have a ton, and Patty knows because I showed some of them to her, and she's probably like, Vicki, when are you getting them up there? You teased me, and then you haven't stocked them in your store. So they're coming, my friends. Okay, the 12 by 12 stencils, which will be awesome, Miriam, on your larger plate, right? Because it's hard to sometimes work with some of the smaller stencils on the bigger plates. Sue got a plate 6 months ago and never used it. My bad, but now I have your class to look forward to. You will love your gel plate. Seriously, is super magical. So I'm going to show you something. We're going to do something. You ready? So I have pigment down here. Would you not agree? There's still white space on here, but there is a very solid layer of pigment placed here. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this, moisture out, leaving the pigment behind, and I'm going to show you something that I think is important with distress ink. So I'm getting a brand new paper towel, okay? Brand new paper towel. I am going to go in here now, and I'm going to add water. I'm going to add water. How do alcohol inks compare? Completely different medium. Like, they're nowhere near the same. One is alcohol based, one is water based. Alcohol inks you need to use on UPO paper or paper that has a coating so the alcohol can sit and pool. You should be careful and wear a mask when you use it because it is fumy, a totally different medium. This is easier, I think. Alcohol inks take a lot of practice to play. Okay, so just a totally different medium, totally different. Jody, mine looks like a big patch of color. It's not like yours. What am I doing wrong? Too much pigment and water. Less is more. Add in layers, Jody. It doesn't mean that you need to start again, but dry your whole surface and now go in with very little pigment and water. Do you notice when I put it on? I'm not going to kiss this down, but I want to show you. So let me put this here so you can see it. Do you notice? Let's pick a color you can see. I'm going to put Crackling Campfire on here. One kiss. One kiss. Look at how little pigment is on here. If you go and you cover your whole piece of plastic with pigment and water and you're trying to layer a lot at a time, you can't control your placement. So that's what I would say without being able to see what you're doing, Jody, is less is more. You want to add a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. And I hope that answered your question, Carla. One day we'll do oxide, or we'll do alcohol ink, but just a totally different thing, right? And did I miss anything else, friends? What colors of Distress ink do you recommend to start using them on tags? My first colors were green, blues, and yellow. When I first started was like and the other thing is I think you need 3 shades of each color. Just like if you were starting with Copic or any kind of mediums, paints, I wouldn't say to just buy all random colors. Stay in a color family. I think it's easier to learn if you're just first starting and mixing with, say, just blues or just greens, because then you don't really have to have any color theory. You're using the same color. You can make beautiful backgrounds. So for example, like Tumbled Glass, Broken China, and Faded Jeans were my first 3 blues. Shabby Shutters, Peeled Paint were my first greens, because the palette wasn't as big as it is now, your selection. And then I went into my yellows, and then I went into my pinks. So if I was going out and just starting my collection of Distress ink, when I went out, for as hard as this is going to be for some of you guys, is I would start with 3 shades from the same color family. Does that make sense? I really think that it is good advice when you're first starting. Start with some greens, start with some blues, get some yellows, do your pinks, your reds. And then guess what? If every time you go and you buy 3 new ink shades and that's all you spend money on in the next week, or when you have the money to do it, you add. And there's nothing wrong with the minis in Distress. You do not have to have the larger pads. You can totally do Distress in the minis. It just takes a little bit more work. But if it's all you can afford and you can get more, buy those packs that you can find. Because I think Michael's has regular Distress ink in the minis in the 4 packs, right? So that's what I would recommend. Am I missing anything? Hi, Nicole. And the one you made earlier, that is rainbow. You said you did that with art crayons. I sure did. This one is art crayon. And you know how I can tell? I can feel the waxiness of it. Do you see how I want you, when I'm done and I can share, do you see how this looks more controlled? It doesn't wick the same. It dries in layers. I could remove it, but I can't do, you'll see right now, I'm going to show you. So my whole background is somewhat dry. Guess what I'm going to go in with now is water. So I'm going to just blast some drips of water because I want to show you how reactive this background is. And now I'm going to remove pigment before I layer more pigment on top. So I'm letting it sit and marinate for a minute. And I'm going to lift this color. And it's, if you are not familiar with Distress ink, this will blow your mind. Okay. And I hope you can see it on, that it's close enough. So I'm letting it sit for a second. I'm going to take my clean paper towel and I'm going to pick the pigment up and I'm going to build more depth. Do the Lawn Fawn inks do the same thing? I don't have any of them, Debbie, but if somebody out there might be able to help you. At one time, Distress was the only one that did this, but there are a lot of reactive inks now. So try it. Just don't put it on a big background. Put one color on, splash some water on and see if it reacts, right? How do you store your minis? In a drawer. don't forget, like I have this big, huge space here, right? And the desk I work on has a whole bunch of calyx shelves on the ends, and I have drawers. So all my minis are in drawers. But I do like the Tim Holtz, like little tins for them, for my minis. But I've also bought at the dollar store. You can buy some great plastic, like Rubbermaid type containers. So now I'm going to remove my pigment. So do you see what I'm doing? I'm not rubbing this. I'm picking up the water, because if I took this and rubbed it, I would make mud. Okay, so let's show you. So now I'm going to have to lift this up so you guys can see it. But there are little white dots all over. I'm going to put a couple more on here. So I'm going a little bit closer with my mister. So you will see I linked Distress Ink to scrapbook.com and a cherry on top with my share a sale links. If you are going to shop there, I love that you support me. Thank you. If you're going to your local Michael's, your local scrapbook store, whatever you're doing, you want to buy one of these. Is the point I'm getting at. This, it is definitely an awesome mister, right? I love this. So I just went and put a little bit more water on it, and I'll take it and lift it up so you guys can see. So I'm going to lift that. And what I'm doing is blending with water. I'm picking up, you can see it all on my pretty paper towel. And Irene, I think, was the one who had listed, like, we need to do paper towel art. So I know I need to add that to one of my Friday Night Lives. But do you see all the color on there? I just lifted that off my sheet. Let me give it a blast of air, heat here. I started with the tins, and then I changed my storage. So I still have tons of tins. That probably will end up in one of the boxes when I do the grab boxes. I'll probably throw the tins in one of them. So you know it's going to be one of those, like when you go to Ardennes or those jewelry stores and you get the mystery jewelry bag. That's what those boxes are going to be when I send them out. And no one will be disappointed. There will certainly be a ton of product in there. But, oh my goodness, I love this so much. I can't wait to show you. So let me lift it up to the camera so you can see. I'm not going to take it off my sheet. I'll just lift my sheet off. So can you guys, oh, just a second. Low battery. I forgot to plug my phone in. That would have been very bad. Thank goodness I looked up at the phone. Just a sec. Is it going away? Oh, Vicki, is it charging? Just a second, friends. That would be bad. I gotta make sure, because this power bar that I have, some of the things don't work. So let's just make sure that that is charging. You're gonna see my face in here. I don't know if it's charging. Close. Is it charging? Just a second. Oh my goodness, Vicki. It is on, yes. We know that one works. Let's move that. It is plugged in. Okay, friends, if for some reason tonight everything goes black, it's because my phone wasn't charging. I think it's working. But we'll see what happens. Can someone repeat the Distress ink used here? I will just kind of do this for you quickly. And I will put it up there. It's just a whole whack. Carved pumpkin, crackling campfire, dried marigold, mustard seed. We haven't used it yet, but fossilized amber. I have rusty hinge, rustic wilderness, mowed lawn, crushed olive. I think those are the colors I've used so far, right? Spiced marmalade. I think it's charging. Fingers crossed, friends, but look it. So do you see what's happening here as we keep building? So do you see where those kind of white little spots are? Where it's kind of lighter spots, that's where the water has eaten away at the pigment. And now I'm going to still go and layer more on here, but it will give me all this awesome depth. Okay. These types of pages would be perfect for your altered little golden books. They would be beautiful. That would be awesome. Yes, paintbrushes I carry in my store, and they're cheap. And all my prices are in Canadian dollars, which means if you're American, it's extra cheap. You're saving 25%, right? But yes, there's different paintbrushes I carry in my store. Thank you very much, Julie. I'm so sorry I have to run, attending a 3-day crop. We'll play this again. Definitely, Laura. You know they're all saved. And have a great time at your crop. That will be so much fun. Okay, so I'm going to keep layering here, and I'm going to build into my orange a little bit now. So we did carved pumpkin. I'm going to go in with a little bit more of the same. But yes, oh, I love it. I might make a new color though. I'm going to go with carved pumpkin and a little bit of mustard seed on this one, okay? I don't like to contaminate my pad, so I put it right beside. And I'm going to blend that to lighten my orange a little bit. So you could kiss this, or why don't we start some drips? The only thing, I don't know if I'm ready for, I'm a liar. I'm not doing the drips just yet. I feel like I need to build my base a little bit more yet. Okay, so I'm going to go in up in that white corner. Like some business has to go on up in there yet. I can blend a little bit of the orange into the other colors a little bit. I can even mist a little bit in there to pool that pigment a little bit. Don't be afraid, my friends, right? This is a piece of paper and your time. So just get in there and play. Like, look at that color starts to wick. It's beautiful. We'll dry that. I like to clean it off of my tape so I don't pull that pigment back in by accident. I'll lift some of it if I don't want it to be super dark when the moisture leaves. We're not baking this like a cookie. We're just getting the moisture out, leaving the pigment behind, and we can go in and layer into this. But play with all different techniques. Add pigment, lift pigment, add some water. But now I'll start showing you some drips on here. Now when I drip onto this, okay? But it needs to dry, because if you're just joining me, if you don't dry the base underneath and you go to put some more pigment, it all just pools together, right? And you want it to be layers of really fun on here. My store is just online, Karen. My name is Vicki Booten, and I have a product line with American Crafts. So my store started pretty much initially to sell my class kits, because really it's all my store will be, and then just a few of my favorite things, and then my exclusive stencils and stuff that are only sold through there. But I will do things like that I use all the time, like my paintbrushes. But it's not like a store where you're like, I need cardstock. Can I order cardstock? It's not like that. Okay, it's more just things that I use, things that are going to be used in a class, or my favorite things. So if you go and kind of peruse, I need to clean the store up a bit too, friends. I know that that needs to happen. But again, it's one Vicki who does all the things, right? So now we're going to do the drips. So I'm going to put a lot of water on here. And I am going to hold this fairly high over my artwork. And we're going to let it splat on there. And then we are going to dry those. Hi, Linda. How are you? So see, that's a lot of moisture right there, right? So I am holding my heat gun pretty high. One, you know, with your drips and stuff, if you hold your heat gun too close, it's going to blow it out. And I still want it to look like a drip. I don't want it to look like fingers, meaning where like little tentacles, whatever the word is, like little fingers of pigment kind of float out there. So I will start drawing these layers, but because there's so much water, we're going to lift it with paper towel. We're only trying to start to build that outer layer of pigment where it dries in that hard line around the outer edge. That's what I'm trying to go for. And now I will take my paper towel and I will lift the extra pigment and build the next layer. Yay! And we also can tap. You're setting up your Epson Picture Mate 400. Oh, you're going to love it. Have you had it before, Kim? Have you used it before? Or are you new to your Picture Mate? So that is my favorite printer for printing at home is the Epson Picture Mate 400. And a lot of the people who have followed for a long time are very good about sharing when it's on sale. And it was just on sale. So I know a lot of people are getting now just their Epson Picture Mates, right? Hi, Carol. How are you? Oh, my friends from Thunder Bay. One day we'll be able to get back together and craft in person, right? So I'm going in now with a little bit of dried marigold so you can put some paint taps on it and drips. Okay, so I'm tapping my paintbrush to build some layers, and then I'm also going to do some drips. And I'm going to dry, and this is where you see what I'm talking about. This takes a little while, right? This takes a little while because you got to build these layers. And you got to dry between the layers to get the depth is amazing when this is done. So you're new, Kim. Oh, I can't wait. Just make sure you do a couple test prints because sometimes it will print a little bit lighter and you have to darken up your images a little bit. What apps are you using to edit your photos on your phone? What apps are you using with your Picture Mate? I want to know all of the things. And friends, I got some information from Cruising Crop, and I see that a lot of you guys are booking the cruises for next year. I have one that is in June that is going to some beautiful places in Spain and France. And then in October is like Cozumel and that side of the Caribbean. So very excited that I see some of you guys are signing up and I'm starting to get the lists for that. If you are interested, that's something you've always wanted to do or you do it already, just go and visit the cruisingcrop.com website and all the cruises are listed there. If that's something you guys want to do with me, we're going to have so much fun. I took the photo class. So the apps that we talked about in the photo class, I love it. I love it. Yes, I like which one? I just forgot the one I use all the time. Pick Tap Go. You know, print to size, and I really love as well. Let's do some crackling campfire on here now too. I really love Pick Stitch. Those are my favorites. I know my friend Lael uses the Epson app as well. I miss you too, Nicole. Where are you going? She goes to bed early, so look, she's quitting on us. Okay, friend, I have to sign off. Enjoyed watching you play, and we'll give this a try for sure. Miss you. I miss you too, friend. But I can't believe you're signing off already. I love Print to Size. I think it's a great app, but it is iPhone. It is iPhone app. So if you don't have an iPhone, you might be cursing me because you're like, I love the idea of that too, but I can't get it. So I am tapping a little bit of this crackling campfire into my orange. And I'm going to have some controlled drips. And we're just going to layer and layer and layer, and then we'll have this pretty background. that we can die cut from or stamp on, whatever you want to do, right? Snapseed, I use Snapseed as well. Good night, Melanie. See you later. Yep, she's ditching us. What are you doing out there, Natalie? You're quiet too. What are you working on? Are you editing? Natalie's always working on 10 million things, so I can only imagine. But I'm very happy that Nicole joined us tonight, even though I'm teasing her and giving her a hard time because she's checking out. It was nice to have you here tonight, Nick. Okay. I don't want, that's very dark, so I'm going to lift some of that. And then see what's left. Start building that pretty depth. Love it. So it takes a while, friends. You can't be a quitter with this technique. The magic really is in just layer, layer, layer. That crackling campfire on top of the barn door is absolutely beautiful. For you guys who wanted kind of campfire colors, it totally is like a beautiful orange that sits in that kind of raspberry red. We reached Saskatoon. We'll have to watch the rest. See you later. Got to help unload. I love it. Joining you for the first time from Melbourne, Australia. Yay. Hi, Jackie. I love it. Yeah, we have a lot of friends from Australia and New Zealand that join us. It is super awesome. I love it. I'm going to go in now with some fossilized amber, and I'm going to work kind of that area. Let's see what happens with some fossilized amber. Mari is here too. I didn't see you, Mari. Sorry, I don't want you to think I was ignoring you. Hi, Mari. See, I only look up so often, right? So sometimes I miss what's going on. So thank you, Nat, for, I don't want to look like I'm ignoring anybody. So fossilized ambers in the house. I love that. Look at the deep yellow that is bringing in there. It came out as sexy and should have said sesh. It's okay, Jackie. You can call me sexy. I did notice it, and you notice I just didn't say anything. I didn't want to embarrass you. You are welcome, Tracy. Are you going? Yay. Yes, pull the stuff out. I love it. Because I think when we first met, you were a scrapbooker, right? And then you just went into your flower designs. So I love when you can pull out some of the tools that you had maybe for scrapbooking that maybe you don't do that anymore, but can work with some of your other mediums. It's awesome. So I'm going in now with some mustard seed, and I'm going to build on my layer. Thank you, Sherry. What is your time? Like, what is the time where you are, Sherry? Do you miss me because of time difference? Or because it's Friday and the beginning of the weekend and you're doing other stuff and you're like, you haven't slowed down enough yet to start the crafty stuff? I want some more yellow there. I'm going to pull that in. It's too much white. I don't really want any white in this when I'm done. So I just pulled my yellow all over. You can if you want. See, now, Lauren, I wouldn't be spraying mica because I don't want any glitter on this. Like, I don't want the shimmer. But you could totally do the sprays. I have control issues, Lauren, so I'm not going to lie that I would not be doing any of my, because I have other sprays, tons of different spray inks, because I've been around for 100 years. But this would be harder to control with them, right? But you could definitely, right? It's 20 to 8. So you are, it is 9:40. It's 20 to 10 here. 20 to 10. And I wanted to show you, I will probably have to show you. Remember I said I'll show you the oxides? I'm going to have to do the oxides separately, like at another time, because remember I still have to go and edit the class video. So I will not be doing that tonight, but I will do one so I can show you. But I will finish this one. I need some more green in here. Building my yellow, and you really can stop at any point, right? Could you spray your plastic with spray and then apply? Yes, you could. You totally could. Look at the plastic as your delivery method. So yes, you could, because you would just control it rather than spraying it right on your background. That would help you to control it. So see in my yellow, I'm going to do my reverse now and put a little bit of water drops on there to build some depth. Just break up some of my blobs. I just find going in and doing adding pigment and lifting pigment, I like the results that I get. Okay, and that's totally personal preference, but I love that it eats the color away and creates, when you get a big area or solid area of color, that doing the reverse and lifting some of the pigment off really adds interest. Okay, so it's an option. I can't see the plastic you are smooshing your ink onto. It's just, look at. Does that help? So it needs to be pliable enough that you can, this one is a liner from a stamp set, 100%. I know that this one is, because the size of it for sure is off of one of my stamp sets, like a 4x6 or 5x7 or something, right? And so Sherry, what the plan is that I'm going to die cut out of this. I'm going to die cut some shapes out of it so that I can make fall leaves, and we can do a layout and a card next week. I just ordered some of Tim's new Sizzix ones. So if they arrive, in time, I could use those. But I think the CutFiles will be fun too. This is Barn Door. And let's do some drips of it. I gotta blend it. It's not gonna move. Okay. So we have big drips and splats, and then we can layer with our I'm going to drag some of that in with our paintbrush, and then go in, dry that layer. And now when you're looking at this, you just see this big background, right? The magic is that when you go to die cut this and you cut it into shapes or stamp on it and remove it, you get some really, really cool effects because you pick out the sections you want to work in, if that makes sense. So it won't be one big blob of color. You're going to see this kind of broken down bits of color. Like one leaf could come out of here and one is all yellow. It's very fun. And the other thing that you can do is you can also, after they're die cut, there's no reason you can't go in and add more pigment if you wanted to. So I really like my layers of where the water eats away at my ink as I layer. So I like to go in there and do that. Let it sit and marinate and then pick it up. Believe it or not, I never scrapped. I collected supplies and made hundreds of cards before I discovered making clay flowers. Still use my paper crafting techniques and your floral artwork on canvas. I love that. Hello from Texas. Hello, Connie. How are you? Hi, Dorina. I'll have to watch the ending later due to losing power twice already, and it's flickering again. So leaving and shutting down before it goes. See you later, Dorina. I miss you, my friend. So yes, if you guys are watching after the fact, please still comment on the video, even though you're not watching live where I'm going to answer your question or react live. I still love when you leave comments when you're watching after the fact or recording. And a cut file is, Arlene, have you heard of like or seen die cutting machines like a Sizzix? Not Sizzix, pardon me, a Cricut or the Silhouette. CutFiles are the electronic cutting file that will cut shapes out. So CutFiles will only work with an electronic die cutting machine, but you could also use punches. You could use stamps. You could use manual dies that you put through a die cutting machine, like one that you crank. So yeah, I love it. So who's making with me out there? What kind of results are you getting? Are you loving? See, look at, you saw where we started, and do you see, this is why I find this very therapeutic. I don't care. You know, if you followed me, I would make this background and never do anything with it and just enjoy this. But I will make something out of it as well. But I need something. This is all tonally too much the same. I'm going to grab another yellow. See what I have. We could do like, look at, what do you think? Some tea dye? Oh, I can't. Look at, I just teased you guys because you're like, Vicky's going to get dirty. I can't even believe it. And then I lied. I'm going to put wild honey on there. I love wild honey. It's kind of an orangey yellow. Okay. So I'll show you what it looks like. So I'm not even cleaning this off. Whatever's on here, I'm going to just leave. But oh yeah, look at that wild honey. This is one I remember when this color came out. I absolutely love it. So I'm not going to get crazy with my wild honey because it's pretty orange, but I do want to add a little bit of depth in here. So I'm going to tap some wild honey into my green and kind of into this section, and then I will also kiss it onto the paper. Okay. But I can see maybe where the orange and the yellow meet, we could put a little bit of it there, but I still want some of that bright yellow too. So let's see what we get. Bring it down into the green a bit. Wild honey. Hi, Susan. Okay, I wanted to see what you guys are saying. Somebody used purples. This paper is on my foundations paper. So I have a product line with American Crafts, and this foundations paper is 140 pound weight. So that's why I'm putting all this water on, and it's only minimal buckling, is because of the paper I'm using. And you know, if you have followed me, this for sure will go through my mink, because I will flatten this out a bit before I put it through my Cricut. I think I'm going to try my Cricut. I have a new Cricut. So I will, if you aren't following me already on Facebook in the Vicki Booten Creative community, I probably, when I go to cut these out with my die cutting machine, I might do it live on there this week. And it'll just kind of be random. I'll let you know that day, like, hey, I'm going to cut my stuff out so you can see how it cuts with the Cricut. I think would be fun. Or maybe I'll throw it up here on YouTube. I don't know. Something. Oh, I love that color. That really turned out really cool. The wild honey. Oh, it's so delicious. I still have some of it left on here. I'm going to pick up those little dots, and I'm going to smish it right in there. Smush it in there. Love it. I am missing stuff. Do you have a favorite machine? I have a Silhouette and the Cricut. I have the brand new Cricut. I have to say I love how fast it cuts, but I'm still learning the Cricut. Jill, now that we are all into your Epson PictureMate, would you consider doing your photo class again, or is it anything we could still purchase? Maybe I should just post it because I wouldn't reteach it, but maybe I will put it up where I clean up the files and have it all instantly as a download. So I could do that, Jill, where I would consider just reposting it, which maybe is a good idea before Christmas. So when you guys all start taking lots of photos during the holidays, so maybe that's a good idea. I could put it up there as just instead of me doing it live, you could just have access to the class files. So what side of your foundation paper works best for wicking? The front side. And the way you can tell is, did you see when I tore that little strip off the top? If you run your finger along the front side, it's flat and smooth. The back side where the perforation has punched through has a little bit of an edge. Okay. Well, that would be awesome. You got the Maker 3 and haven't used it. Yes. I would like the photo class as well. Oh, I think I have to look at it because I'll have to get all of the videos together and then do access again or something. I'll have to look at that. Okay. So yes, I will put it on my list. I do think it's something that will be beneficial. So do you see, I'm going to try to keep those polka dots. Ooh, I don't want that there though. Keep these polka dots. So lightly touch it, see, and lift it. And then you'll get some of those dots. As the moisture leaves, get some of those dots, layer that in. I'm going to lift some of that green. I'm going to put a little bit of that green because right when the leaves change, if you guys don't have fall, if fall doesn't happen where you live, like the leaves are green for the most part before they start to change these beautiful oranges and yellows. Like where I live, we get fall. It's beautiful and vibrant. And if you ever have a chance to see it, if you live somewhere where you don't get to see fall, I would say it's worth it. It's beautiful. It's probably one of the most beautiful times of year. But you'll still have like a little bit of green in your leaves. So that green can definitely go in with your reds and in with the orange and the yellow, because the green summer part of the leaf can still be in the leaves when they start to change, right? So I'm getting close, friends. I'm liking this. I need to work this corner up here a little bit here. I'm loving what's going on here. I'm not going to do much more there. I'm going to put some water in here now to eat away what I just put on here. I love fall. It is amazing. The design space seems to be working out amazing. I just haven't cut anything yet. Yes, I need to really, I got the brand new Cricut, right? And I would like to get in there and start doing some stuff. So for sure, I will be putting the new CutFiles on there and figuring that out and posting about it. So I'm letting that water that I just added eat into my ink a bit, and then I'm going to lift it because some of these are a little solid. So if I put that in there and then I lift it, where you live, you get a red fall colored leaves. Wish we did. We get red, orange, yellow. Where I live, we get amazing fall. Like everything you could imagine with fall, like apples, pumpkins, sunflowers, like all the things. When you see pictures of fall, where I live is full on. We get fall. So the only thing we run into is we got to watch, because when we get that, it stays hot, and then just gets cold. It does not do wonders for our fall leaves. And what ends up happening is the leaves just fall off the trees. They don't change colors, right? Do you have a video of the paper you did with the crayons? Yes, this will be, this was definitely done probably on Facebook. It was before I did it on YouTube. So it would be on Facebook. You just would have to go back through, and it would be something with its art. This is art crayons. These are my art crayons. These, I did that background with this, and that's why it's a little bit more controlled. It's with these. This is my art crayon through American Crafts. It's 3 different sets in these bowls. But yes, It's a lot of fun. Nova Scotia is awesome in the fall. And you know, Irene, I'm trying to figure out how I can get there. I'm trying to figure out how I can get there. So I'm going to build a little bit more in here and here and a little bit here. And then I'll take the camera down and I'll zoom in so you guys can see. Okay. But I'm loving it. And this, when I go to die cut out of this, is going to be beautiful. And I do want a little bit of the green to kind of float in here a little bit. I'm going to come back in now with crushed olive again. Here's the whole thing when you get into making art and being comfortable with artful techniques and mixed media, that a lot of people who craft it, everything has to be very fast. And I find that the magic happens by just taking your time and adding a little bit of color at a time, looking at how those colors react. How does the water react? How does the product react? And then coming back and revisiting, and knowing when to stop is another important part. You do need to know when to stop. You don't want to get too crazy with some of the pigment because it can look like vomit on a page. And this almost kind of looks like vomit on a page because my purpose isn't to leave it like this, right? I'm going to be making, cutting out of it. So I'm okay that I have a lot of action and business going on this page. Totally all right with that. But you do need to know sometimes when to stop, right? When to pull back, step away from the art, look at it, see what's happening. I'm putting some flecks. I'm really loving this crushed olive. Now in with the yellow and in with the orange, because it just does have that kind of remnant of the green leaf in there. My shop online is vickiboutin.com, VICKIBOUTIN. And the other thing that you'll find on there are my event weekends. Like I have product line with American Crafts. So I have a Christmas event that's coming up. And then I will also have my new Fernwood collection. If you just Google search my name if you're new, and you'll kind of have an idea of what we're talking about. But I'm very, very excited. Oh, I love that. That looks so pretty. That crushed olive on here. Can you see that? Just dirtied it up a little bit. I think a little bit in here maybe too. A little bit in there too. Oh, I have some on here, so let's just water it down a bit. Don't add more pigment. I'll just put that in there. Right there. Let's see. Love it. See that little bit of green going on up there? Hi, Robin. I will definitely, thank you very much. I will read those comments for the video editing apps. When this is done and I can go through and look at the comments, I'll definitely look at that. Crushed olive did make magic. Do you see that? That it was on its own, looked a little dirty, but now when I layer it on top, I'm totally digging it. Now I'm going to break that up a bit with water because that's our friend. It will take kind of the sharpness of some of the lines out. And I am digging that. Like right here, I want to break up some of that. Break up some of this. And I'm going to let that marinate and work in this section down here. Because the longer I let it sit, the more of the pigment it will eat. It's so pretty, Vicki. I love your art. It's amazing. Thank you very much. How do I say your name? Gianella? Is it Gianella? That's a beautiful name. I love it. So yes, with my, see, do you see? I'm having a hard time not to stick my paper towel on here and lift it, but I want it to just sit for a bit. Let's go in with a little bit of dried marigold in here. I'm not going to clean my sheet off too, whatever's on there. I'll just leave it. Yes, so with my weekend events, we do this all weekend. We will build an album, and I'm very excited because with the Warm Wishes is my first album with American Crafts. They let me do an album with that collection. So we're going to be doing a Christmas album, and then layouts, and then there'll be a bonus class, which I think will probably be cards and some extra layouts, because you know there's so much in those kits that we'll have lots left over to make some bonus projects. It'll be fun. We're going to have fun with that. And then I'm going to do the same thing with Fernwood. Same thing's going to be happening with Fernwood. Okay, I'm going to dry this section, but I also have to lift my water drops up, right? So let's see what we have. Not my own 12 by 12 stencils, not at this point. My stencils are 6 by 8, I think. Oh, yes, 6 by 8. They're on VickiBoot.com as well. But I ordered a whole bunch of 12 by 12 stencils from one of my favorite stencil companies, Crafter's Workshop. And I will be adding those to my shop under stencils and under gel plate. Oh, I love it. Okay, so see, lots of action going on here. You know what I'm going to do? Freak you out, but I want to bring this corner close to me, so I'm going to turn my page. And I don't think that's a bad idea either, to switch the direction you're working in. So I want to add a little bit more business up here, but I don't really want to mix those colors. I'm going to go back in with some carved pumpkin. I bought the whole kit of the Christmas line. What day is the class? It's a whole weekend event, and just know that I mixed other lines with it. There are some exclusives in the kit. And if you have purchased your own, some of those paper, I have 3 of them. All right, so 3 sheets. How about how much to ship stencils within Canada, Vicki? Depending where you live, but you know, with Canada Post, it's not like in the US. Like for me to ship the stencils to the US is like 7 or 8 or 14 or whatever. It's cheaper. Within Canada, the cheapest that I can ship in a bubble envelope, because I have no control over that, is $13. Depending how far, like if they're going way on the other side of Canada, might be $15. And you can see on there, if you order the whole set, you end up getting 1 stencil for free. Winnipeg, probably I'd say 14, because I don't put them in a box. I'm going to take some of that pigment away. I don't want all that. I put them in an envelope. And that's about how much for my stencils. Not the 12 by 12 have to go in a box. They're more money. It's just my stencils that are smaller. The 6 by 8 size is that price. Okay, if that's helpful. I love it, Kimberly. Thank you. Yes, and then for the US, I charge a flat rate of $20 Canadian for any boxes that you guys are ordering, because with the exchange, it's the same as a flat rate box with USPS. So even though California, Puerto Rico can cost me anywhere to like $36 to ship, I just do the flat rate. Okay, I'm going to break that up a little bit. But yes, Fernwood will be going up soon. I just got to work out it's all ordered. I just haven't posted it on my website because I haven't even shipped Warm Wishes yet because of the delays, COVID, and there are so many delays. I'm just telling you, I feel bad for anyone running a business right now, anything that you're waiting for, because the delays are like nightmarish, right? Hi, Dandy. How are you? Hello from Panama. I love when I visited Panama. When I was in Panama, we still dream of the best restaurant I swear I've ever eaten at. It's a hotel called the American something Hotel, which is right downtown. And they have the best food I've ever had. It was, what is it called? The something American Hotel. Help me with that, my friend from Panama. Why is that postage to, or why is it that postage to from the US, UK, Aussie is so expensive, yet if we buy from AliExpress in China, it's so cheap or even free? It's probably because they ship so much. Like, think, how much do you think a company like AliExpress is shipping out every day? So they get special rates through their shipping company because of the bulk. It's the same, like, why can you order from Old Navy and get shipping for free if you spend $50? Because they get rates I never will have that kind of quantity. I never want to. I never want my business to be like that, because that would be not fun. But think about it. That's why shipping rates, you would get way cheaper shipping rates if you are shipping tons and tons out than UPS and well, they probably don't really ship through those, but it would be through like FedEx and all of those postage services. They'd have discount rates. The more they ship, the more volume, the better their discounts, right? So that's why. It has nothing to do. We would never see those rates. It would be a company who's spending, like, I bet AliExpress, a company like that, probably spends $1 million in postage a year. So of course they're going to give them huge competitive rates, right? American Trade Hotel. Oh my goodness, Lillian, have you ever eaten there? When we were in Panama and I was there with Devin and her best friend, and I was teaching, and we ate at that American Trade Hotel. If you guys are ever in Panama, make sure you mark that down to eat there. We had 3 meals there. The food was so freaking good. I still dream of that. Yes, it was so, so good. Yep, we at work pay average of $1,000 a week to ship regular ground Purolator and don't give a discount, right, Robin? So that's the one thing I say. I don't profit in any way off of shipping. If anything, I'm lucky if I break even. I might even lose money on shipping. So because you still have all the packaging and all those things that take in. So you just know, when you order from a small business, just know that if they could save you money on the shipping, they're not making money off of that, right? So it's not like when the shipping costs you look at, and people will be like, I can't believe your shipping costs. I'm like, look, I don't control those at all. That is all Canada Post and USPS. That's what I ship through, right? And I have to drive, like any of the American ones, I have to drive to Burlington, which for round trip is about an hour and a half. And I don't even take into consideration the gas for that, right? Susan Scally is a winner. Yes, she is one of the winners, right? Was that on, was Susan on YouTube or the other one? And I think somebody emailed me asking what is going to be in the prize pack, and I don't know. I don't know at this point. I will just go out there and literally, you won't be sad. I'll just take a whole bunch of stuff, fill 2 boxes, and those 2 prizes for people who won will be super awesome. You guys will be very happy. But I know it was Susan Scally, and I forget who the other winner. There is a winner on the Facebook post, and there was one on YouTube, which I don't, like, it's up to people to reach out to me when you win a prize. And then I just get your shipping information and I will send it. Okay. Vicki, how about some more green? Yeah, I'll bleed the green in a second, but because look, when you look at it, the red and the green are really the darkest. I'll go in here in a minute. I just want to finish my yellow first, and I'm going to also pull some yellow into the middle. Okay. So it's coming. I wanted to brighten some of that up a little bit with some of the mustard seed. And I will definitely go to green next, okay? Question, when will be the last day for orders? For which ones, Missy? With Warm Wishes, I'll sell that until they're gone. Those kits are gone. And I figure as soon as I do the sample for Warm Wishes, I will get a ton of those orders. Because a lot of people want to see what they're making before they'll commit. So as soon as I have one more class project to do for Crop and Create. And then I will be making my Christmas samples. And I figure as soon as I post that up on Facebook and on Instagram, those kits will sell right out. Britt Bass on YouTube, thank you. That is the other winner. So if either of you are watching tonight or watching after the fact, make sure you get in touch with me if you haven't already, because you're both winners from the Warm Wishes giveaway. Okay. Vicki, I already saw you, Sandra. Shipping is crazy expensive. We ship across North America and it's insane. 100% is, right? And people will get mad at the shipping costs. And I'm like, look, we have no control over that at all. Shipping is fixed. That is not something that I profit off in any way, shape, or form. Some companies might. They might up their shipping. I do not, right? If anything, I try to keep my pricing, and I'm sure most of the stores out there and anybody who's doing anything as competitive and reasonable as possible. I'm going to take now some green, because who was it that wanted to see the green? Here you go, Sandra. I'm adding some more green in here for you. And I'm going to actually bleed it into some of the other colors. Maybe even in the corner here with the yellow. Oop, the corner here with my green. And we're almost done. Yes, but I'm sure there's a couple store owners out there tonight, and they'll tell you it's hard. And I think if anything, well, look at Canada Post just did another postage rate raise. Yeah, it is just, I think it's one of those things. If you're going to order online, only the big, huge companies can give you any kind of breaks on your shipping. The small ones can't. Okay, the last thing I'm going to do, my finishing touch. I need a little bit of a light green in here. Maybe I don't really want olive in there, but mowed lawn's a little dark. But here, I'm going to put it in, but really water it down. So I'm doing one more layer of green. But it's going to be very wet and not drippy. I'm just going to add a layer in here. Because I feel like it needs some more depth. I don't really want the white in there. I'm going to dry that, and then I'm going to put some water marking on it. The cost of everything is going up. 100% it is, right? The groceries are crazy right now. I know just with American Crafts, with all their product costs, there's been a 10% increase. So you're going to see it like it's, we can't absorb it. Anybody doing business can't absorb a 10% price increase. So you're going to find thickers and cardstock and all of the things are going to go up because you just can't absorb that kind of price increase, right? Okay, so this is how I want to finish this. Is now I'm going to go in with some water. I swear Canada Post ships by Pony Express. I'm telling you, yeah, how long it takes everything to get anywhere. It's crazy, and it's not competitive like it is in the US, right? Most of us only ship with Canada Post. The other stuff is just too expensive. Fruit and veg is insane, yes. Yeah, it's craziness, right? So I'm almost done. And if you're watching after the fact, thank you for joining me. So I'm going in now and I'm putting water all over this, not misting. It's this, I'm only half depressing. So drips come out. See that? Just a drip, drip, drip. Okay, so it's not a mist. I'm going in and just adding some drips because now I want to blend this a little bit. I just want it to kind of marinate. So I'm going to let that sit for a second and then I will lift it with a, I'm going to go grab a dry paper towel because if it's damp, I'm not really lifting it. And then I'm going to dry this and I will show you up close. Let me grab a paper towel, my friends, because all of my, what is this one? I'll pick them out of the garbage sometimes. You really like yours, Irene? What colors did you go with? Did you do like a folly kind of vibe, or did you do rainbow or a monochromatic? I'm very glad you're happy with it. Okay, so here I am. I'm standing now, and I'm going to do this and lift my drips and then dry it. Ooh, I love it. Okay. Put in there, make sure I got all that moisture out. I love in here what's going on. I'm going to do a couple more. And any of my friends out there who joined Gina Livy with me, she will have a live tomorrow at 10. I hope to see you there. I'll get up and I'll be on there as well. And I saw Karen just ask me, what is Tim doing tomorrow? Which one of his, what's happening on his live tomorrow? Because I know Tim is on, but I don't know what live it is tomorrow. Oh, seedless preserves. So guess what I'm going to do, Denise, with seedless preserves is going to go in my background when I put these on top. I think that seedless preserves will be, yes, Eastern time, Dandy. She's in Toronto. Seedless preserves will be a great contrasting. Purple as a contrast to this will be beautiful. It's Stampers Anonymous tomorrow. Yes, I'll be there. I want to see what we're coming out with. Thank you, Mari. How are you, Mari, my friend? Stamps. Yeah, I'll be on there. You know what I can't wait for? My favorite will be when Ideology. I can't wait for Ideology. Okay, let's dry this. And you're going to see these circles really come out. Yes, Suzanne. I think my Christmas line did exceptionally well. So I'm very happy with that. Bobby, this will be recorded. So as soon as I end the broadcast tonight, when it's no longer live, you can watch this right from the beginning. I do these every Friday night. And even though it's live, it will be a recorded live. So you'd watch the whole thing again. Okay. All right, friends, you know what I'm going to do? What time is Tim tomorrow? Noon. He's at noon. I think he always does 12 o'clock Eastern time, whatever the time difference is for him in. So when I pull my tape off, do this, friends. Pull it close like this so you don't tear your paper. Okay. Because this is not painter's tape. This is just regular old masking tape. So I pull it flat on flat to get my edge. Because this could be a canvas. You could do something in a canvas. You could put black die cuts on top or words. But you know I'm going to grab my Mink. And I'm going to run it through so you can see how vibrant these colors are going to be when it's all dry. So let me clean up a bit. Let's take this off. Ideology's on the 25th. I can't wait. Yes, I watch Lil. I go between the two of them. Right, Lauren? I go between the two. I always have to come and say hi to my bestie. But I will go on there too. I watch Lil. I don't list, but I love to be part of the community. And I love to support my friend, and I love to go and see the friends that are on the live with her. But I am definitely going by the pool tomorrow. That's why I have to stay up late tonight to get my photo editing done. Unless I can figure out, I really hope I can figure out how to get it out of my freaking iMovie, because it's all done already. I don't want to start it again. So it's a 3-hour freaking video. And you know how long those take. Even though there wasn't a lot of editing to do, you still have to watch it through, right? Why didn't I use painter's tape? Because I didn't have any behind me, right? So I had my masking tape. So I just used masking tape. You could totally use washi as well, right? So we are going to look and compare and contrast using art crayon and using Distress ink. But this is going to be so fun when we die cut or you punch or stamp on it. I can't get it out of iMovie. It won't upload. It keeps crashing. It is 3 hours. So it's a class, right? It's one of the classes for one of the events I'm teaching at. And it started and it was going for about 30 minutes. And then it said failed to upload. And because normally I would be sharing it to YouTube, it wouldn't be an issue, but I have to share it with the event that I'm teaching at. So I have to figure out how to save the file and then send it to not WeTransfer, because I think it's too big, but whatever the sharing service they're using. So maybe it's my Wi-Fi, maybe. I'll have to figure that out. I'm going to grab my Mink and I'm going to run this through, but look at, can you see? And it looks very dark on my camera. It's a lot lighter. Because this would be, if you were watching and you watch my stuff, you'd be like, that looks very muddy for Vicki. It's not. It might just be my lighting, okay? Can you send it to your computer and then send it from there? That's what I was trying to do, Amy, is upload it from iMovie to files, and it wouldn't do it. Just a sec, friends. Let's grab my Mink. I cleaned up. So now my Mink is in a drawer with my Gemini and my manual die cutting. I love it. I love that I just walked right over and I could grab it and it was fast. So friends, do you have to have this? No. And we still have to do foiling with the Mink so you can actually see how this beauty works, how it was intended to work. But I love this for flattening quickly my mixed media. But you can only use it for mixed media that is not like acrylic base. Because if you put this on with a medium that has acrylic in it, it will turn to glue and it will glue to the folder when you put it through, right? But a lot of you are probably loving this, right? Yeah, maybe. I see. So help me, friends who have, while this heats up, friends who are Mac users. How do I find movie files so I can delete the old stuff off? I went in and I don't know how to find files so I can clean up. Like, how do you do that when you need to make space on your laptop? So if somebody put that stuff, who's Lael? Lael is my friend. She doesn't do mixed media. She does listing and Traveler's Notebook. Her name is Lael Koncar, Koncar. So we've just been friends forever, but we create polar opposite. Her and I are polar opposite, but I'd have to say I'm very proud because she now owns all colors of Distress ink. She just stamps with them. So I'm going to run this through, and what this is going to do is take the moisture out with heat and pressure, because it's like a laminator, and it's going to smooth out my mixed media, and that will make me happy. So all the bumps are gone. Good night, Dawn. Thank you so much. Go and get your rest and have a great weekend. I still haven't used yours for foiling yet, but I'm going to do that. That's going to happen. Foil would be beautiful on this background, wouldn't it? Finder, yes. It's called in search. I called it Searchlight. So Finder. So I have to figure it out, right? Look for your movies folder in Finder. I was in Finder, and do you think I couldn't find freaking anything? So I got to figure it out. So there's a lot of moisture coming out. There's beads of moisture all over this already. You hang it on the wall, and you totally could. And here's the magic: is there's no reason why you can't make 12 of these backgrounds, right? And do different things with them. Launch iMovie and click on the iMovie menu. Choose preferences. I deleted everything out of iMovie, but now I want to delete anything that's saved to my laptop. See, I normally do everything live, right? So I don't really film. See how flat that is now? Isn't that awesome? Let's put it through one more time. And I'm going to do the compare and contrast with the art crayon and with this. I'm going to turn it up one more just for fun. Can you hear the sizzle? Because there's water in the folder coming out of here, and it just sizzled. Does the ink laminate? Yeah, it will. Yeah. See, I love it, Melody, because this, for me, normally I would go way brighter than this. But you watch, when we cut it out and I put it still, I could put it on a white background. I could put it on black. We could do so many things. Are your art crayons similar to the Distress crayons? Different. There are tons of different water-soluble crayons, like Dina Wakelia scribble sticks, which are totally different. They're a harder medium. Distress crayons don't have as much pigment as mine do, but they do magic things that mine will not. They set. Mine always will be reactive and stay as an open medium. So they're just different. I own all of them. All of them. I own all of Tim's Distress crayons. I own scribble sticks. You will notice if you have different ones. So anyone out there have Distress crayons and Vicki Boutin art crayons? Would you not agree that mine have more pigment load? There's more pigment in them. They're just different, but I have my Distress crayons for, like, I can color on metal and they'll set, right? So it's just a different medium. So look at that, flattened it right out. Okay, so let me get rid of this, because I have no patience. If you do not have a mink and you played along with me tonight, what you would do is you would put this under some books or stack of cardstock and just let it dry, right? Just let it dry. It's just different. So here, I'm going to grab my camera and zoom in so you can see this is Distress and these are art crayons. So you will see how this is different. Is this isn't reactive. That is only going to happen with Distress ink. This I did dripping and it reacts, but it's different where you see the little splats and it stays very defined because they're just different mediums, right? So I'm going to take this down. What setting did I use to flatten? 4. Yours is already flat already. I love it, Irene. So here we go. I'm taking my camera down. So sorry for the Blair Witch for a second, okay? And I'm going in so you guys can see. So I hope, can you guys see what's going on here? Okay, so that is Distress ink. And on my camera, it looks very dark. It is very bright. I'll make sure I take a photo of this before I do anything so you can see the color difference. And then you can see with art crayons, it's just more defined. It's a different technique. Okay, totally different technique. They're not going to react the same way. So this background was done with art crayons. And this background was done with Distress. So I am going to put the camera up. Again, I'm jiggling you for a second. Sorry, friends. And give me 1 sec here. Do. Okay, now I'm going to talk at you for a second. Here we go. Hi, how are you? So that was a lot of fun tonight. Does anybody have any questions? Any other questions? I feel like this, what I loved tonight, what happened? There were lots of questions. We had lots of really good conversations. Thank you. Great questions. I hope that I answered them and you found that as you were playing, because I think a lot of you played tonight because you probably had the mediums. That I hope I answered your questions. I hope you feel like you have a little bit better understanding for layering your distress inks. Like I said, you could do this with you could have done it with one, if you had one distress ink, you could have done a version of this with one color, just layer, dry, layer, dry, layer, dry, dilute, put more pigment, less water, more water, less pigment, and get tons of really different results. And like I said, you want to join next week because then I'm going to show you what we can do with it. So let's see if the lighting is any different. See how bright that is? I think that looks different, doesn't it, than when I showed you overhead? Because I have a light right in front of me. But look at that. So you understand that the colors I chose, I did in quadrants because I want to cut it out. I didn't do it in quadrants as a background that I'm going to actually create something on. I created this to dissect it. So I'm going to cut it apart. I will probably die cut out a part of it. Maybe I'll make a second one with oxides during the week so we could stamp on one. I just want you guys to feel like it does not matter if you don't have a Cricut or silhouette. I am not pressuring you guys to go out and buy something. One, maybe you can't afford. Two, you don't even know if you want to use. I'm just giving you options. If you have a Cricut, I can make free CutFiles and share them with you. So it's just, I feel like it's something I can gift you if you can use it. So I'll be working on those this week. Very simple. Just going to do some simple leaves. And then if not, you could use stamps, you could use a punch, you could hand cut. You could draw on it if you want to, whatever you're comfortable with, right? So let me see. Any questions? Love it. Just hung out tonight, but I'm going to try this tomorrow. I love it, Angie. Do it whenever you can, right? And hello, Keisha. It almost looks like bokeh. Yes, for sure, right? Looks like when you have the, take the photos of lights, but it's not focused and they're just like little polka dots. We could totally do bokeh. We could totally make that happen. Imagine if we inked the whole background and we just layered with water dots. So a whole reverse. Make a note of that, Nat, if you're still there. I need to do that because that technique just popped into my head. We need to try it. I'm grabbing a piece of paper. Can I use Tim Holtz watercolor paper? Try it, Arlene, but you remember what I said? It doesn't have the same sizing on it. I'm trying to grab a piece of paper from underneath here. I got to make a note for myself of the technique that just popped into my head. Just a second. Oh, that's coming. Thank you for that. See, and that's how it works, right? That is really, for me, how it works is the ideas just constantly are popping into my head. That's why I need to hire an assistant so I have more time for the creative stuff because and I know paper towels, Irene. I haven't forgotten. We made some pretty ones tonight, didn't we? So you actually played along and you're feeling yourself. I love it, Marcia. I'm very excited. And use what you have. You don't have to rush out and buy the things that I'm using. Use what you have. Maybe you were inspired to buy a new color Distress ink tonight that you didn't have that I used and you're like, oh, I love that one. It is the one thing it's worth investing in. Whenever it's on sale or you have a couple extra bucks and you go shopping somewhere and you're like, I didn't really see anything, add to your Distress collection. You will never regret it. You like my wall? Thank you. That is mixed media on the wall. I did that. I painted that one, right? So your husband thought your lamp behind you was a weird hat you were wearing tonight. Where? That, oh, this lamp. This one? That's funny. He's like, what is she doing tonight? Hey, it could happen on Halloween. I think we should, if we have a Halloween crafting session, I think we should all dress up. Or, you know, the funny thing that I did, because I don't really dress up, is if you have Snapchat, go with at Halloween when all the filters come out and take selfies with all the different filters. And that's how you could scrap Halloween stuff if you don't have little kids or anybody to scrap. I just do the filters where I can look like I have all different kind of makeup, or I can be a witch or a goblin. And then I just scrapbook those. And I take them with my kids and my husband. So it's a great idea at Halloween. Tim Holtz Ranger watercolor cardstock is 118 pound, a little lighter than Vicki's foundations, but it's watercolor paper. So it is meant to, for the pigment to kind of float into the paper. It doesn't sit on top the same as foundations paper. His mixed media paper might do it. So try that if you have some of those. But I'm telling you, you'll still get a pretty effect, but you won't get the hard edges that we do on foundations paper. So it's only different. I would say your results are going to be softer. So it'll still be beautiful. Do it. But then just make that note for yourself. Oh, look at this cool technique. I just kind of elevated what Vicki did by using it on watercolor paper. Okay. We dress up as Dallas Cowboy fans. I love it. Keisha, is that like all the time or just at Halloween? So anyway, you have any questions before I sign off? I was going to be quick tonight, but this technique is not quick. It takes a while, and I can't wait to show you guys what it looks like when we cut it out, because that is like going to be, it literally is like, you will love this. A lot of you loved this, but it's going to be different when we do it. How does a gessoed paper react? Try it, but you're going to find it really bleeds. So have your heat gun handy and work a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. But gesso, you will get a whole different reaction. And none of them are right or wrong. They're just different, right? So yay. Bye, Poppy. See you later. I answered, I think, right? All of the questions. You signed up for the cruise today. I'm so excited, Valerie. Be ready for it. Zumba, crafting, laughing, dancing. You might hide from me on the boat because you either, and so you guys know, if you sign up for for my cruises, I cannot wait for the one that goes out of England. The one in June goes out of England. I will do either a pre or post class in England as well. So if any of my UK friends, I'm trying to work it out with my friends to teach an event, and I'll be staying extra as well. But the cruise out of the UK is going to spots in Spain and in France. And if you're like, how does that work? It's a cruise with crafting. It's not a crafting cruise. Like I always say it, look at it as a vacation, and then days at sea. We spend the one day making the album, the whole day. We're in there from the morning till about 4. And then the other days are half days. And we do mixed media. We do traditional paper crafting, because I feel like when you come home from a cruise, you should have an album ready to put all your travel memorabilia and photos in. So we do that. And then my dinners, if you end up booking the cruise, I always do late seating. So we try to get in an area together, and we laugh. We have so much fun. Your husbands can come if you want them to. You could bring your sister. They don't have to be crafters. They can still get the group rate. So say you wanted to come and you're like, I don't have any friends to come craft with, but my husband wants to come on the cruise with me. Do it. You will make new friends. It's what I'm like. When you come in there, if you're new and we have been messaging ahead of time, I will make new friends with you, with that group of people. It's just the way I roll. This is, as much as it's crafting, it's community. And that's why I love the opportunity when we go on cruises, to craft, to connect, to Zumba, to eat dinner together, to, if you want to come on the excursions with me, I'm always quite happy to go as a group. So it's so much fun. So if that is your inclination, we have the one in June through cruiseandcrop.com. If you just look that up and you see lists of crews, you'll see Vicki Booten new cruise for June, and it's out of Southampton in the UK, and it's going. And don't look at those ports and think, oh, I've never heard of them. My friend in Spain told me the ports in Spain are absolutely stunning. It's where they all go to vacation. And then the ones in France, don't think that you're going to go to Paris. Okay. It's too far. You're just going to spend your whole day on a bus. But we can go and see, I forgot the Impressionist artist who does the water lilies and stuff. I just forgot his name, but his gardens are right near there. And that time of year should be beautiful. So, and then the other one is a more inexpensive option. It's in October out of Texas. And it's going to, I know Cozumel. That's all I know. I just sign up for them and then just go and do the things. Monet's Garden. Thank you. So lots of fun. It's going to be lots of fun. So yay. If you're doing that with me, it's great. If you can't do that with me or boats aren't your thing, I'll figure out other ways that we can meet up in person. So thank you so much. Hi, Robin. Have you been here all night and I didn't say hi until now? One of my Robins is here. Hi, Robin. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. Oh, you guys have filled my cup to overflowing. I feel like no matter what my week is like, Fridays for me center me. I get to connect with my friends. I get to make art. We have good laughs. And today was no exception. This was really awesome. So thank you so much. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. If you're watching after the fact, thanks for joining me. It's okay if you're not live. I hope you still took away some great golden nuggets tonight. And we'll see you next Friday for part 2, where we're going to take this beautiful art we made tonight and elevate it. And it is going to blow your mind. I'm going to pull the sewing machine out, everything. I'm pulling out the big dogs, the big dog guns. Make sure you're signed up for my newsletter on vickibooten.com. And if you haven't already, join the group community page on Facebook. It's called Vicki Booten Creative Community. And I will be sharing those free cut files if you do have a die cutting machine and you want to partake. So have a great night. Have a great weekend. I'll go through if I missed any of your questions. And we'll see you next Friday. Thanks, guys. Bye. Eek.